LeBron James, also known as Joel Santana, will be home by 2021. Joel was sentenced to 27 months in federal prison after being found guilty on weapons and drug charges. In 2018, he tried to go through a security checkpoint at Newark Liberty Airport with a loaded .38 and a pocket full of oxys, which drew the attention of TSA agents. Joel immediately made a run for it and escaped the scene without being arrested. But since they had a clear shot of him sprinting through the airport on video, it wouldn't be hard for them to issue a warrant for his arrest. So a few days later, he had no choice but to turn himself in, and even had to put his mom's $500,000 house up for bail. As part of his plea deal, he'll have to enroll into a drug treatment program and take 2 random drug tests upon his release. Jason Jackson, also known as 03 Greedo, will be home as soon as September of 2020. Jason had caught trafficking and possession charges back in 2016 when he was pulled over with 4 pounds of meth and a stolen firearm after an officer had claimed that he smelled suspicious odor from his car. He was eventually found guilty and sentenced to 20 years in prison, which means his release date would be in 2038. So you're probably wondering, how could he be home by next year if he was given decades in prison? Well, according to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice inmate entry, it reveals that he will be eligible for parole in September of 2020. The only reason someone would be given a chance at freedom that soon, other than telling on someone, is the fact that he copped out to a plea deal instead of denying the charges and taking it to trial. And since there's no proof of him snitching, that's most likely why he'll be home a lot sooner than 2038. Aquil Pollard, also known as Bobby Shmurda, will be out of the dog pound by December of 2020. Aquil had been sentenced to 7 years in prison for a third-degree conspiracy to murder and weapons possession case he caught back in 2014. The world got to know Aquil when his hit single Hot Hitter peaked on number 6 on the Billboard charts. A lot of people assume that the self-snitching on that song is what attracted the feds and caused the downfall of his whole crew. But the truth is that the FBI was already investigating Bobby and the G-Stone 90 Crips in East New York way before the song blew up. Aquil was just the first member to put the gang on the map internationally as a music label. By the end of his trial, he avoided decades, like his co-defendant Broderick Santino that was sentenced to 117 years in prison. Bobby ended up copping out to 2 of the lesser charges and avoided a possible 25 to life that the state of New York was aiming for. Charlie Wingate, also known as Max Bigavelli, could be home as soon as 2021 after being granted a reduced sentence of more than 60 years. Charlie was originally sentenced to 75 years in prison for a conspiracy/robbery case that ended up in 1 fatality back in 2006. Since Charlie wasn't present at the scene of the crime, they could only accuse him of orchestrating the robbery by sending his now ex-girlfriend and brother-in-law to carry out the act for him. After years of appealing, he was able to get a new trial and got re-sentenced to manslaughter with a 20-year term, knocking off over 50 years from his original sentence. Then in July of 2019, he received a second blessing by getting that 20-year sentence reduced down to 12 years. He took this to Instagram by posting, in quote, "They gave me 75, got it chopped to a 20, then got it down to a dozen. I'm good with the money." Daniel Hernandez, also known as Tekashi 6ix9ine, will be home as soon as January of 2020. After catching conspiracy and racketeering charges, Danny faced anywhere from 20 to 47 years in federal prison for his involvement in the 9 Trey Gangster Bloods enterprise. The only way to go from 47 years down to a little over 1 is to do exactly what he's doing right now, and that is to plead guilty and fully cooperate with the federal government. That means dropping dimes on all his OGs and telling on anyone who ever did dirt with or for him. In Danny's case, that means testifying on OGs like Shotty and Mel Murda, as well as implicating his hitman Kuda B on the hit put on rapper Chief Sosa back in June of 2018. Another outcome can be a reduced sentence to 5 years, like the sentence given to his co-defendant, Crippy. But the fact that his current girlfriend, Jade, posted, in quotes, 6 more months on her Instagram back in July after speaking with him, tells me he got offered the shortest sentence out of everyone on the RICO case.